Hi, I'm Bob Roth, managing partner and co-founder of Cypress Home Care Solutions. Since 1994, we've been helping older adults in the Phoenix community age gracefully and safely in the place they call home. Since 2014, I've been bringing you Health Futures, Taking Stock in You, a show dedicated to helping you live a longer, healthier, and happier life. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Health Futures, and today I have no stranger to Health Futures. In fact, this is his sixth appearance on the program. First time here on the podcast. I've had the privilege of watching my good friend, Kanaan, build Envoy America from an idea inspired by his parents into a national company, helping hospitals, senior living communities, faith-based organizations, and families solve one of the biggest healthcare challenges, getting people where they need to go safely, compassionately, and with dignity. Casey, welcome back to Health Futures. It's hard to believe it's been more than a decade since you first appeared here with your business partner at the time, Andy Barand. Welcome back.
Thank you, Bob. It's always a pleasure seeing you and being on your show.
Wow, 10 years, building a mission. You've been on the show now 6 times. Let's start here. When you look back at the last 10 years, what do you see?
I can't believe it's been 10 years doing what we're doing, helping older adults, patients, and the organizations that serve them. It's been wonderful. Again, it just doesn't feel real, doesn't feel like we're helping the thousands and thousands of individuals to just live a healthy life, independent life, give them their freedom back, help them stay socially active, healthy. It's unbelievable for us, and every day we wake up and say, I can't believe we're doing what we're doing.
So what are you most proud of when you look back at 10 years? And here it is, 2026. I had you on in 2015. So it's a little more than 10 years, but what are you most proud of in the 10 years?
It's the team that we've built, that the culture that we have, the team members, the staff that all believe in what we do, which is helping older adults and patients stay healthy, stay independent, and socially active. That's what I'm so proud of, just being able to do this. And it's not me, it's the team. And people hearing about us and reaching out to us and asking us to expand to other places. So that's what I'm proud of, our team and the ability, the service that we're providing to help not just the individuals, but the businesses that serve them.
Well, I think back to 10 years ago. Would you have ever thought you would have built a company that is now serving in, 30 states? It's crazy how many states you're in. Would you have ever thought that?
Not in a million years. When we started this company, we didn't have plans to expand. It just happened organically. Our team has done a good job, the driver companions, serving individuals, and we were lucky that some of the organizations that we were serving here in Phoenix had offices and branches outside Phoenix, and we were asked to expand, and we expanded. So to answer you, no, not in a million years. I've never thought that we will be where we are today.
Casey, you often say, we're not in the transportation business. We're in the independence business. Tell us what you mean by that.
The way we look at what we do is it's provide a service to both. Our clients are the organizations that we serve and the individuals that are associated with those organizations. So if it's a hospital, as an example, the hospital is who is paying us to serve a patient, to help solve a problem, the discharge problem. Hospitals are clogged, not because they don't have the capacity to admit more patients, but they're clogged because patients that are medically ready to be discharged are not getting discharged because of transportation. So we provide a service that can accelerate how fast patients are getting discharged to go either to a group home, skilled nursing facility, a post-acute, or go home. And we do this in a timely manner that can free up the bed, so hospitals can admit new patients to provide services to those patients and help address that problem. So we're not providing transportation. We're more of a technology company that's leveraging technology, and the service that we provide happens to be transportation. But no one hires us because we're a transportation company. They engage us because we can solve real problems for them.
I love that.
And if I can elaborate a little bit more
Sure.
on hospitals. So the healthcare side, we serve hospitals, we serve skilled nursing or post-acute facilities. When the patient is ready to be discharged, the process is they make phone calls to see where the patient can go to, skilled nursing A or B, because they accept the insurance, they have the bed, they have the ability to serve them, and now they're looking for transportation. And it's not easy to find transportation, especially if the patient requires a wheelchair accessible vehicle or is in a stretcher or bariatric or using oxygen. So they get to wait and wait and wait, which impacts the hospital, but it also impacts the skilled nursing facility. If the patient can't come to them in a timely manner, the bed stays empty.
Right.
They're not making money. And sometimes the patient comes in at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night when they have the skeleton crew. So it's that whole system is broken, and we have a solution for it. And it's not just in metropolitan areas, but also we serve rural areas. Our business model, operating model, it doesn't matter where the hospital is. We work with hospitals that are 30, 40 bed hospitals. We go to rural areas. We travel from the metro area 100, 120 miles to discharge a patient that needs to be close to their family. And this is on the healthcare side. On the senior living community side, anybody that is in senior living, they know that you have to have a bus, 12, 14, or to 14 passenger bus,
Right.
that costs roughly $120,000, that sits there 2 to 3, or most of the time that gets used 2 to 3 times a week for 2 to 3 hours.
So like 95% of the time it just sits.
It's sitting there. And when it's used by it's driven by the activities director or the executive director in some cases, or the maintenance team. And that's not their job. And
they're also paying insurance on it too. A lot of money for insurance.
Absolutely. So the solution that we have, it eliminates their capital expenditure, $100,000 that's eliminated, reduce the operating expenses, lower their liability because the vehicle and the driver are our employees and the vehicle is ours. And it helps them deliver better care, better experience to the residents to help them increase their census, their market share, their revenues. Those are the solutions that we bring to senior care, and we're doing it at scale. But back to your question, have I ever imagined us being in this position? No, it all came over time. We've listened to what our clients needed, and that's how where we are today, is because we just worked with our clients to come up with good solutions for them and their residents and patients.
So your story actually began with your parents. How often do you still think about them when you're making decisions today?
Every day. Every patient or every resident that we serve is like our parents, our grandparents, our elderly or older family member. And that's how we hire people that also look at the people that we serve. We don't hire drivers. We hire people that provide service to somebody like their mom, dad, grandparents, or their loved ones. And so to answer your question, I think about it every single minute that we're serving people. They're like our own parents.
Well, I imagine they're looking down and they're proud. They're proud that you're doing the good work. And, it's interesting. You describe the settings in both the acute and post-acute setting in terms of the challenges they have relative to transportation and certainly discharge planners and social workers making sure that beds are available for the ED and getting people back up. One thing people lose sight of, and I've talked about it often here on the show, is that 1/3 of our population, 65 and older, is living home alone. So they don't have anyone to drive them. And many of the post-acute and acute centers do not want to put somebody in a Uber or Lyft or a cab. What sets you apart from them?
That's a great question. It starts with the team members that are serving and driving the patients to go home or go to a medical appointment or go shopping. It's that person, and we call them driver companions. They do this not because it's a job, but it's a way to give back and serve the individuals that we serve. So that's where it all starts and ends. But we also provide a lot of training on how to recognize the signs of dementia, training on how to secure somebody that is in a wheelchair into the vehicle. You know that our son is a Marine, and with Marines, they train them to assemble and disassemble your rifle blindfolded. Mm-hmm. We don't blindfold our drivers when we train them, but we use the same methodology. How you can do it with your eyes closed, how you can secure the wheelchair in a vehicle, how you fold the walker, how you serve the individuals. You mentioned that they live alone, they're lonely. How do you make the experience all about the older adult or the patient, because they are lonely? So we provide a lot of training, but we also provide things that make the experience better and safer. So all the vehicles that we use, and these are the wheelchair accessible vehicles, they're equipped with telematics, they're equipped with dash cams. So we're monitoring and we get notifications if somebody's speeding or somebody's using their phone as they're driving. We use the Broda chair to serve the patient, especially if they're getting discharged from a hospital after major surgery. The Broda chair itself is about an $8,000 wheelchair.
What is a Broda chair? It's a wheelchair, but what is it exactly?
It's a wheelchair that can also be used as a stretcher. So it goes flat. You can use it with bariatric patients, so it's adjustable, so you can make it bigger, wider. The way I describe it is it's like a love seat or like a recliner where the padding is very thick.
Sounds like a transformer.
It is a transformer. It's actually it's yellow in colors.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Bumblebee.
It's beautiful. It's
I love it.
But it's the investment. Every wheelchair vehicle that we have has a Broda chair. So what makes us different and unique is we're leveraging technology. We're investing to make it better and safer for the clients that we serve. We're accelerating the discharge process. We can integrate electronically with our clients. So if they're using Epic or whatever system they're using, our technologies has open APIs. But it goes back to the people that provide the service. They're compassionate. They care about the clients. They treat them the way they expect somebody to treat their mom or dad or their loved ones. And that's what makes us who we are, and we're doing it at scale, where we have a centralized client care team, centralized recruiting, centralized dispatch, fleet management. It makes it more efficient, and we can pass savings on to the clients to make it better for them to do business with us.
Well, you did leave off one. having you here for the 6th time and being not only my friend but an advisor. I asked you the question about Lyft and Uber and a taxi and what makes you different. And what I've learned, and you can expound on that, is those services, if you would, they'll take you curb to curb. You guys go a little bit further. Can you explain what that is?
Absolutely. The way we describe it is we're door to door or sometimes door through door. So when there's a hospital discharge, we go up to the floor, we go to the room, we're coordinating with the nursing staff. We're calling them 15, 20 minutes before we arrive. The driver is calling 10, 15 minutes before they arrive to make sure that the patient is ready to be discharged, is still in the room that they sent us. Their discharge papers are ready, and we're the ones helping the nursing staff transfer the patient into the Broda chair or into the wheelchair. We're taking them to the car, and when we arrive at the skilled nursing, we're reversing the process. We're calling to make sure that they're ready for us, and we help with the transfer process. If we're helping a senior living community, the same thing, where we go inside, we park, we go inside the senior living community. If they would like us to go to the apartment or their apartment, we do that if they're not waiting in the lobby. If we're serving somebody a private pay, somebody that lives at their home, again, we call the night before to make sure that they're still going. We walk to their door. We help them with, if they have a bag, we ask their permission to help. We walk them to the car. If they're using a transfer wheelchair or a walker, we're the ones who are stowing it. And we do what you and I would do to help our own parents.
Right.
Like if I'm serving my mom, if I'm helping my mom, I call her the night before to make sure that we're still going. I arrive a few minutes early. I knock at the door. I help her to the car. I stay with her the entire time. If we go shopping and I'm the one who's carrying the heavy items, I'm the one who's carrying the bags to the car, and from the car into the house. So it's more personalized than pick me up at the curb, drop me off, and I'll never see you again. It's the clients can ask for the same driver if they like him, and we will do our best to assign the same driver because it's all about the clients that we serve.
100%. You know, it's interesting because I know a vast amount of your business is in the acute and post-acute setting, but your start, started with a not-for-profit. You work with a lot of religious institutions and helping get older adults to church or synagogue.
Absolutely.
You also go grocery shopping. You also help them get to their chemotherapy appointments, radiation appointments, you name it. You're like Johnny on the spot. You are, again, you're that surrogate son or daughter that can't be there. You're there. And I love, as you describe it, it's not curb to curb. It's door to door or in the door. And I think that makes you so exceptional and so different from anything else that is out there.
We've been blessed that we are playing this role, and I'm glad you said surrogate son or daughter. A lot of our clients describe us as the surrogate son or daughter. A lot of our clients in places like Phoenix, in the Phoenix area, the older adults live here, but their kids live in Chicago, Minnesota, New York, New Jersey. So we're their eyes and ears. We're communicating with them and reporting back if we see that mom is having difficulties walking or mom is repeating herself. Obviously, we're not medical professionals. We're human beings, but
right.
Because our business model is the same driver often serves the same client, we can be the adult children's eyes and ears, or in case of a hospital or senior living community, we're reporting back to the caseworkers, to the care coordinators, to the activities team, to make sure that we're completing the cycle where there's continuum care. We're part of it. We're not just, let me pick you up, drop you off, and never see you again. We again, it's the surrogate son or daughter that is caring about somebody to treat them like their parents.
So let's do a deep dive. Let's talk about this surrogate son and daughter.
Yep.
Talk to us about your drivers, because, certainly in home care, it's really about our home caregivers and how they are different from others that may be out there. So if you wouldn't mind, take us through how you recruit them, how do you train them, what are you looking for from them? Because Envoy America doesn't exist without the drivers you have. And just out of curiosity, I've known you for years. How many drivers do you have out there?
We have a large number, so it's in the hundreds. But going back 10 and a half, 11 years, you were very instrumental in helping us refine who we look for. Just, again, listening to you, you've said that statement repeatedly. It's all about who's providing the service. Mm-hmm. They're the face of the company. So we took that to heart.
Thank you.
So our drivers are the face of the company. We live and die by the job that we do, recruiting them and training them and supporting them and empowering them and recognizing them, coaching them up or coaching out. That we live and die by that. So to answer your question, how do we recruit them? Different methods, from placing ads on Indeed, on Facebook. Referral is a big source of leads for us, where some of our drivers that enjoy doing what they're doing, they would refer their...
The best referrals there are. But what are you looking for in them? I mean, it's one thing to recruit them, but what exactly are you looking for a driver to join the Envoy America team?
So somebody that cares about people. So some of the questions that we ask immediately is, what prompted you to apply? And we're listening to the answer. If we hear things like, I saw that the hourly pay is X, that's good money, I want to do this, that's one answer that we don't like to hear. If we hear things like, I get what you do, I saw my mom or my dad or my neighbor struggle when they couldn't drive themselves, and I want to help and I want to do, this is somebody that we want to talk to and learn more about their background, their experience, mm-hmm. what's important to them. So it starts with those questions and asking open-ended questions. So what experience do you have interacting with older adults? Tell me more. And just listening to the answers. We're looking for somebody that wants to do this because they get that they're happy when they're serving people. If I'm interviewing somebody, and I'll give you one of my, I guess, the things that I look for. We're sitting in a conference room or at Starbucks or wherever we're meeting, and then if we're in our office, I would give them a tour of the office, and I would look at, okay, did they put the seat back when they walked out of the conference room? To me, that is key to somebody who's paying attention to the details, somebody who is not just rushing or just it's something that I've learned.
Respect.
Absolutely, they're confident. They're easy in what they're doing. So it starts with this. If if there's mutual interest, because we believe that they would enjoy doing what we do, and mm-hmm. they think they would enjoy doing what we do. We do the background screening, and we screen for about 400 different things, from driving record, federal, county, state, sexual misconduct, elder abuse, Social Security verification, Office of Inspector General, right. Drug testing, depending on the state. We check for over 400 different things, but it doesn't stop there. We do continuous monitoring to make sure that it's not just done annually. Driving record is done once a month. Complete background screening is done quarterly to make sure that the people that are serving our clients continue to have the perfect background, so we're not taking a chance and we're not putting our clients at risk. Training, I talked a little bit about training, wheelchair securement. One of the big training modules is dementia training, how to recognize the signs of dementia.
Are you still using the syllabus that was put together by our mutual friend, Jan Doherty?
Yeah. Absolutely. I talked to Jan 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Wonderful
awesome.
lady.
Oh, yeah.
She ran, she was part of the Banner Alzheimer's Institute. She created this training for us probably 9.5, 10 years ago.
I remember.
And everybody that works for us goes through that training module to recognize the signs of dementia, to make sure that we're serving people. If they're repeating themselves, we recognize that's
I'll have to get Jan Doherty back here. She's got a company called Travel Alls and does amazing work helping families that have loved ones with dementia and want to be able to travel.
Absolutely. She's phenomenal. Yep.
She is. Now, I so appreciate you taking me through that, because Envoy America, Cypress Home Care Solutions, we do not exist without our caregivers, you without your drivers. It's everything.
Absolutely.
So I want to take our conversation to leadership. And you have built companies. You've worked for Intel. You worked for Bose. You've now built a national company. What's the difference between leading a mission-driven company versus working for big companies like Intel and Bose?
Great question. I've been very fortunate that I've worked for big companies where I learned a lot of things about how to run a company, how to use tools, processes to make sure that everybody is marching to the same drumbeat.
Managing people.
Management by objective is a big thing at companies like Intel, where you set your goals for the year, you break it down by quarter, by month, and by week, and then you're reporting and you're self-managing yourself to see if you're on track or not. And I've taken those things that I've learned at big companies and brought them to help manage this mission-driven organization. A lot of the things that I've learned, we do day in and day out. We set up.
It's kind of like what we do at Cypress. I mean,
absolutely.
You went through probably TQM, Total Quality Management. People today don't know what that is, but it's all that HR training and really managing people. And that's not an easy thing to do. And it's a great segue for my next question.
Yeah.
What's the hardest decision you had to make?
The hardest decision was in January 2025, so about a year and a half ago. We were working with a corporate client that drove about 70% of our business. We were with them for at least 7 years and growing with them because they were growing, expanding to different states because they were expanding. And
you won a number of awards with them too.
We did. They were a great partner. Our board members were encouraging me not to put most of our eggs in their basket, and I didn't listen. I should have listened.
Yeah, it's hard.
And then that corporate client in October 2024 was acquired by another company that we did not have any relationship with them. And it took about 3 months or so for things to change. They changed slowly at the beginning, and then in a month or so, the payment terms changed. They wanted to reduce what they were paying us, the contractual agreement. And it got to a point where we either walk away from that business or we go out of business. So it was
an easy decision.
It was an easy decision, but we walked away from over 70% of our business. And that was January 8th, 2025.
Wow.
It was hard. The biggest issue that I had was we had to reduce our headcount,
yeah.
our workforce, people that had nothing to do with it. They knew that this might happen because we kept everybody informed that this is where we are and this is where we're going. So it was not a surprise for anybody, but still having to meet with every team member and let them know that today is their last day, walking them to the car, giving them a hug, crying with them. That was the toughest decision that I've had to make. The business decision was easy, but walking people out and impacting their livelihood and impacting them was not easy.
Listen,
it's never easy.
Well, Casey, you're running a mission-driven company. And in order to do that, you have to have a caring spirit. And we're in the people business, so I can imagine how emotional that must have been. And listen, don't be hard on yourself. I mean, you were growing with that entity. I know the board was probably critical, saying you needed diversity in your mix of business, but you guys were growing. You never saw this coming. But you're now on the other side. And, you've shared a little bit at the beginning where your focus has been.
Right.
And I know you're growing, and I know that's been really gratifying to you and certainly the shareholders. But, I guess, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, lessons were definitely learned. You navigated through COVID. You navigated through labor shortages, inflation, and rapid technological changes. Your leadership has definitely evolved. I commend you for that.
Yep.
And, I mentioned about technological changes. Technology is changing everything today. AI is front and center on everything. Matter of fact, I wrote a column for the Jewish News that'll drop next week that talks a lot about this
AI.
change. How is technology and its role at Envoy America, how has that changed, and what does that look like today?
We've always focused on bringing technology into what we do to make sure that our on-time performance is as high as it is today, which is over 99%.
Wow.
The routing, how we optimize the routing, how we can respond to clients in a timely manner, how we integrate with our corporate clients if they want to leverage technology, how we interact with our driver companions using technology so it's more efficient for them and more efficient for us. We've invested in technology from the beginning. We've created our own. AI has been wonderful.
I was going to ask you that. How has that changed things for you?
It helped us, and it's helping us do things more efficiently. And I'm talking specifically about the routing and serving the clients faster and better. I'll give you an example. When we work with clients, they would say, Mrs. Smith needs to go to see her doctor. Here's her home address, or here's where she is for the pickup address. Her appointment is at 10 o'clock, and she'll call you when she's done. That's how the industry works. We've created the technology to, using AI and other tools, to say, okay, if I need to be there at 10 o'clock, what time do I need to pick up Mrs. Smith? And based on her mobility status, how much time do I need to give? If she lives on the 5th floor in the downtown area where parking is a challenge, add more time to we figure all of this out through technology to make sure that we're picking her up at the right time to get her to her appointment at the right time, taking into consideration everything that I mentioned, from cognitive challenges to mobility challenges to where she lives. Mm-hmm. And then the next one is leveraging technology to figure out how long is this appointment going to take. If most of the time, They don't know how long it's going to take, but we know because we have the database to search if we've taken somebody to this doctor visit or to this church service or synagogue service and figure out, okay, this is a 45-minute trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we make decisions. We either keep the driver or return the driver. If this is radiation, 15 minutes, driver stays. If this is chemo or dialysis, it's 4.5 hours, driver comes back. So we're leveraging technology every step of the way to help us, one, deliver better service to the client in an efficient way without having to have an army of staff, large staff, to be able to deliver the service. And we continue to evolve as technology.
You're optimizing routes. I mean, if somebody's going to be at a dialysis appointment for 4 hours, you can get that person in.
Absolutely.
No, you don't have to be back for 4 hours, and that driver could do 2 or 3 more trips.
Absolutely.
And then come on back. I mean, it is a very good use of that. And
a good example is a hospital that has 3 discharges all at 4 p.m. Our technology will figure out, okay, I should take patient A first because it's the closest versus taking patient B who is 100 miles away. Again, you can do this manually, but the system does it for you in a heartbeat.
yeah.
And we empower our team and our clients to figure it out with our help to make sure that we're optimizing how we serve them and serve their patients, so no one is waiting, or if they're waiting, it's minimal. Just, again, figuring out how to do this.
You know, your staff must really love this, because the fact is that this is work that machines can do. It's a redundant and repetitive task. The data is there. They can be more focused in on the relationship with the passenger or the family member, or working with a whole new client, dealing with an intake, and not have to worry about routing.
Absolutely.
It's really fascinating where we are and where we're going.
Absolutely. We do have a small team, but they're very efficient. I want to give kudos to one of Cody. He's the head of this.
Big shout out to Cody.
Cody Stipp. He's amazing.
Stipp.
Stipp.
Cody.
Stipp. He goes by Stipp, but his first name is Cody.
Okay.
The way he mastered AI, the way he's using it every day to help us be more efficient from routing, building clusters. So when we work with a skilled nursing facility, normally they have multiple SNFs in the same area. Figuring out, okay, can we have one vehicle serving 3-4 SNFs and be more efficient instead of having one vehicle per SNF, and half the time they're not.
For our listeners, just so you know, SNF is the acronym for Skilled Nursing Facility. Many people in healthcare understand this, but
Right.
I just want to make sure people listening that don't know that that's what a SNF is. Just makes a lot of sense. So I want to take our conversation to the next level.
Sure.
All right, so you've embraced tech. You're using it in the back office. You're optimizing your workforce and optimizing the drivers, and certainly optimizing at a point where you're delivering 99.5% on-time deliveries, which is fascinating. And by the way, when we're dealing with older adults, there's nothing worse than being late. And they'll call you out for it. They don't have a problem with doing that. And I know you've learned lessons along the way.
Absolutely.
But at 99.5%, you're doing great. So the future, looking ahead, let's look 5 years into the future. What do you see transportation looking like for older adults? Because it's going to be you and me. You and I are the same age. So, you know, we're turning 64 this year. Next year, 65. 5 years out, it's going to be, we're both going to be 70. What is it going to look like?
I hope it stays the same, which is leverage technology to deliver great service to older adults and patients. I hope the interaction with the individuals that we were serving, it's still based on compassion, it's based on caring, making the experience all about the individual. However, use technology, continue to use technology to improve how you serve them. Continue to be 99% plus on-time performance. Continue to optimize the routing. Continue to make it better and easier for them. The technology is going to continue to evolve. We're going to continue to evolve with it. But my hope is the individuals are getting the love and care that they deserve and they want and should receive.
So I have to ask you this question because I know our listeners and our viewers are going to want to know this too. So 5 years out, autonomous vehicles, do you see them having a place in Envoy America? I mean, we know Waymo's here. We know that Tesla's here. We know that the folks over there at Lucid are doing robo-taxis in a partnership. Do you see autonomous vehicles being at all in your portfolio of offerings?
There's a place for it, depending on the person that we're serving. If they're ambulatory, all they need is to get from one place to the next. They're self-sufficient. Self-driving cars are a great solution. For the individuals that are in a wheelchair, that they need assistance,
it won't work.
In a stretcher, I don't see how this is going to help them. So there is a place for self-driving vehicles, but for the segment, the patients that we're focused on, that need more than just a ride, I don't see how these type of vehicles without a driver or without somebody that's going to help them is going to do it for them.
And that's your big differentiator. All right, so I'm going to move our conversation to this. What still keeps you up at night?
What still keeps me up at night? Just having an accident where we hurt somebody.
I feel you.
Missing an important appointment. Just having an accident where somebody's injured, a driver or the client that we're serving. Luckily, we haven't had any major issues, but accidents happen. We're all humans.
And a lot of them aren't your fault or your driver's fault.
Right. I don't tell that to our drivers, but I tell that to our 3 kids. It's not you. It's the other person on the road that's using their phone or not paying attention that's going to cause the accident. So accidents happen. That's the biggest worry that I have is we hurt somebody, we cause an accident that somebody's injured, and that do I not sleep at night? If I think about it, but we have systems in place to make sure that we're proactively monitoring what we're doing. I mentioned the vehicles, the company-owned vehicles. They have telematics. They have dash cams. Every now and then, I would drive one of our company cars, and I'd tell you, Bob, I hate it. Why is that? Because if you're speeding or if you touch their phone, the camera is going to yell at you.
Wow.
And I was like,
love that.
Don't yell at me. Slow
Busted.
down.
Busted.
Put your phone down. I mean, it's called Samsara. That's the brand that we use. And their technology, their AI that they use, it's phenomenal. But we try to be proactive, and we'll continue to be proactive in monitoring how we provide service. But if I worry about one thing, that's what I worry about, is us hurting somebody.
I can appreciate that. So what gives you the greatest optimism?
Just our ability to continue to grow and solve the problem, the healthcare problem that we're solving. I think you and your listeners know that the government, the administration created a new program. It's called Rural Health Transformation Program, where states are getting funding to help rural healthcare facilities. A rural hospital can apply to be able to deliver better care to the folks that they're serving, apply to hire more people, apply to improve their technology, buy MRI machines, and transportation is part of this. You can have the best equipment in the world, but if the patient can't get there or can't go home, then that's a problem.
That kind of answers my question I was going to ask you next. I was going to ask you, if CMS asked you for one recommendation to improve aging in place, what would that be? And it'd be transportation, absolutely.
Transportation, again, it's not because we provide that service, but it's the linchpin that can allow people to age in place. It is what allows people to live a healthy life, to go see their doctors, go back from the hospital, go home. And if you're outside a major metro area, it's hard to find reliable, inexpensive, or cost-effective transportation. We've been able to serve this. We operate in rural areas, like Sleepy Eye in Minnesota. I'm sure most people do not know where Sleepy Eye is. It's about 105 miles west of the Twin Cities. Or Duluth, even though it's a big city, it's still considered rural.
Very rural, yeah.
Or places like here. We're in Maricopa County, but you go outside, you're talking 30, 40 miles to get to the closest hospital.
Oh, yeah.
We work in Litchfield area, even though there are a few hospitals like Abraza West and Banner, but still, it's hard to find reliable transportation and cost-effective to serve the folks that live in those areas, and our team is doing a good job providing that service, getting patients out of Abraza West to go to some of the skilled nursing facilities that we work with, helping those skilled nursing facilities keep their census at almost 100% and do it effectively and efficiently.
You talked about how you built this company. It was born from your own family struggle to find the right solution for your parents. When you become a grandfather one day, which I have the honor of being a grandfather in the next 6 or 7 weeks, so God willing, everything happens accordingly, I will bestow that season of life that I'm so looking forward to. But when you do become one, and you're a little bit behind me, even though we're the same age with your children, right. So it will be coming. I think you have one that's married, right?
Our son got married 3 weeks ago, and
congratulations.
Thank you, and hopefully, and if he's
God
listening,
willing?
God willing, if he's listening, come on, kiddo, you and Ivana, we're ready to be grandparents.
Let's go. Let's go. So when your grandchildren ask someday, Grandpa, what did you build? What do you hope the answer will be?
My hope is the business is still running. They're our kids, and we have 2 kids that are involved in the business out of the 3. Absolutely. And depends when we have grandkids. Hopefully the grandkids will also work for the business at some point. But my hope is, the answer is, we've built a company that's serving people like me and like your grandma and your other grandparents, that we're helping them stay socially active, healthy, independent, being able to age in place, being able to do the things that they used to do without worrying about driving at night or driving on the highway. Just be able to give people like us 10 years from now, or 15 years from now, 20 years from now, hopefully.
God willing?
Yep. The ability to live as normal of a life as possible without worrying about anything.
And it's crazy because the legacy was born out of your parents, would be their great-grandparents, that need that wasn't there.
Right.
So we're going to go to a part of our podcast here today where I'm going to give you the opportunity to let our listeners and viewers see the human side of you. I did not prepare you for this, and I expect to have one-word answers, but you're welcome to expand.
Sure.
These are my rapid-fire questions to really show the human side of Casey Kanaan. All right, so let's have some fun.
Absolutely.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, black coffee.
Morning or evening person?
Morning. I get up at around 4 o'clock every morning to exercise and get my day going early.
He's a mountain climber. He loves hiking, right? Isn't that what you do?
Pinnacle Peak is my mountain.
That's his jam. So if you want to find Casey Kanaan, 5 a.m. in the morning, you'll see him up there on Pinnacle Peak.
Absolutely.
Favorite road trip you've ever taken?
My wife and I drove from Phoenix to Minnesota about 2 months ago. I just needed a break, and we needed to move one of the vans. I should not be driving 2,000 miles, but decided to do that. That was fun, and I do have another favorite road trip. This was back in 2014. We were living in Boston at that time. I took a road trip with our daughter and 3 nieces. They're all the same age. They all look alike. And we went down to Florida to Disneyland or Disney World.
Yeah.
Disney World.
Oh my gosh.
It was great times. I enjoyed spending times
I love it.
with the 4 young ladies. Learned every song that they can sing, and it was fun. So those are the 2 favorite road trips.
What's always playing in your car?
I listen to podcasts. My favorite podcast, How I Built It, Guy Raz.
I love it. Yeah.
Jocko. I'm a big Jocko. Jocko is the Navy SEAL who has a podcast. I also listen to Founders. Dave, forgot his last name, but he reads a book every few days, summarizes the book, and talks about people like Jeff Bezos, or I'm listening to Walt Disney today that from that podcast.
And of course, Health Futures, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I listen
just
to
want
it.
to make sure.
Absolutely.
Health Futures, thank you.
Absolutely.
First car you've ever owned?
Ford Cougar, 1972.
Wow.
It was an old car with a few 100,000 miles.
Few 100,000.
Rusty, bought it for $600. That was my first car.
Where were you living at the time?
Utah.
Nice. Dream car you've never owned?
It used to be a Mercedes S500. However, as I'm getting older, big cars, trucks, SUVs I find it more comfortable. So I don't have a dream car yet, but my next car will be a big SUV, electric SUV.
So if you were to take one of those on-demand vehicles, Uber or Lyft?
I would take Uber because they're readily available. They're more Uber. But I've been using Waymo too.
I use Waymo.
I love Waymo. Not when I go to the airport, but
well, they used to drive the freeways, but they don't anymore.
Right.
But
no, I love Waymo.
Yeah, I do too. What's the one thing every companion driver should possess besides good driving skills?
Good listening skills. Make the experience about the client that we're serving, not talk about themselves, but be a good listener and have follow-up questions.
What's the most memorable passenger story that you can share with us without revealing identities?
Absolutely. This is back about 9 years ago. It was one of the first clients that we got to serve. I think you know her. And I got to know her because I drove her a few times. Really, really nice lady. I knew a little bit about her, or a lot. I knew that she was from Chicago. She's been living here for 40 plus years. And I get a call on Sunday on my cell phone. And I was like, okay, something from her. I had her phone saved. And I was like, Mrs. L, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah. Did I wake you up? And I was like, no, I'm okay. And I'm thinking something bad happened. And she goes, you know I'm from Chicago. I said, yeah. And you know that the Bears are playing the Cardinals today, and I'm going to the game, and I don't know what to wear. White for the Bears or red for the Cardinals? What do you think I should do?
Whoa.
That's my favorite story. I'll never forget her. I'll never forget how sweet she was. And I know you know her. One of the nicest ladies. Just I've learned so much from her, just listening to her stories. Walking, talking encyclopedia, just like most of our clients.
That's the greatest thing about the work we do. You know,
Absolutely.
we serve the same patient class, if you would, and they all are like a great book.
Absolutely.
Speaking of books, what's your favorite leadership book?
Good to Great is one of my favorite books.
One entrepreneur who inspires you.
There's a lot. There's no one person. Like I read a lot about Steve Jobs. I'm reading the book from Peter Thiel's book now, 0 to 1. Just like to learn from several people that built successful companies, good and bad.
You're a continuous learner.
Absolutely. I
love that about you.
If I'm not listening to a podcast, I'm reading a book, and it's all about business and startups and how businesses were built.
If you weren't in healthcare transportation, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. And I enjoy working with people and partnering with people to get things done. So building things, my my job with Intel was in business development, so partnering with the engineers to get things done. I enjoyed it, just overcoming challenges to build the business. Same with Bose, was to grow the geography that I was responsible for. So it has to do with business development, interacting with people, partnering with people to get things done.
One word that describes great customer service.
Being honest and owning everything that we do, irrespective of what the outcome is going to be. If we make a mistake, admit it, own it, fix it. So just being transparent, being honest, being an open book. That's
I love that.
And putting the client first, obviously.
One word that describes successful aging?
Just having a positive outlook on life, knowing that you are getting older, you're slowing down, you don't have the same energy that you used to have, and just accepting the fact that as we get older, things change, but we can still enjoy life as we're getting older.
Finish this sentence. Independence means
having the freedom to do whatever you want to, whenever you want to, and just so you can enjoy life.
Casey, one of the things I've always admired about you is you lead with your heart. You lead with that first, your business mind second. Has that always been your greatest strength? Or has it also been one of your greatest challenges?
Bob, you ask a lot of great questions. Just thinking back to junior high and high school, I've always cared about my friends and the people that I interacted with, and made sure that it's not just me that is getting whatever we needed to get, but others are recognized. Having played team sports, that teaches you it's the team environment. Has it been a challenge for me to put people first? No. I've been blessed with watching my parents make sacrifices to help other family members, help strangers. My dad was a physician, and when he passed, at his funeral, I've met people that I've never met, and they all shared stories about how he helped them, how he treated them without taking money. But I watched it growing up. I used to go to his clinic, watch my mom, and my mom comes from a big family. There's 7 sisters and 3 brothers. She was the one who took care of my grandfather. She's the one who would drive every morning to pick him up, to take him to work when he stopped working but wanted to continue to go to his business. So I had good examples, and just I had good mentors that, indirectly taught me how to put other people first, and it's a blessing.
I love that about you. And I also love the other thing about you is about family. I mean, you talk about your parents, you talk about your grandparents. I know you have an uncle, I think like in Kalamazoo somewhere. I mean, you are really a family guy, and that's something that really attracts me to you, is that it's family first, and you always do that. You have a beautiful wife, you have beautiful children. Congratulations on your son getting married 3 weeks ago. And Casey Kanaan, wow, number 6. You've been on Health Futures 6 times. It's been great having you on. I wish you nothing but great success. If somebody that is listening or viewing our show here today, how's the best way for them to get a hold of Casey Kanaan and Envoy America?
So first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be on the show. Thank you for your friendship and mentorship. Thank you for all the guidance that you've given me over the years. The best way is to reach to us through our office. The phone number is 480-584-5894. On our website, there's a way to reach out to us.
Is it envoyamerica.com?
It is one word, envoyamerica.com. LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me and reach out, and we'll find a way to connect. So,
awesome. Well, Casey Kanaan,
thank you, Bob.
So great to have you back on Health Futures.
Thank you.
We'll have to make it a 7th time in 27, and we'll talk about some of the changes that you are incorporating. Thank you for the time. Thank you for our listeners and viewers for joining us here on Health Futures. We'll be back again next week. Make it a great day and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Thanks for listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. I'm Bob Roth, reminding you that living well isn't just about years, it's about the quality of life and connections. Follow and share the show, and join us next time for more on how to live a longer, healthier, and happier life.